that probably hurt the process as well into Brad Treliving's tenure here was when they had lost, I guess, two years ago, and he was first eligible to be re-signed. And on the last renewals of Austin and Nylander, it was, we have to sign them, and we're going to do everything we can, and they're a big part. And it was just the message was clear that they weren't going anywhere as far as I'm concerned, and we're going to do everything we can. It's top priority. And then when Mitch first came up for a contract renewal, it was like, I can't remember the exact term, but it was like
everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table,
but
and it was not. We need to get this guy signed. It was like, I'm not making any promises at all, and it was probably with the fact that Mitch disappointed him, and he disappointed a lot of people, and maybe we got to find a way to get him out. I don't know why. Maybe he was scared to say Mitch is a big part of it, and then have the whole hockey Leaf world go, "Are you nuts? Break him up." And we did it too. I did it. That year I said it's over for the core four. Trade Mitch.
But this exact thing is like what my complaint about the Marner era has been. This perception that like, oh, they're not talking as nice about me as those guys. Or Jonas had the quote from Paul Marner in his article today about how no one talks about Mitch for captain, and it makes our family really upset. Or there's the Schedule B bonuses that weren't played, but Matthews got his. This like holy tiny resentment thing that really. So what I think is for Mitch Marner, this is awesome. This is the best thing for him because he's an ecosystem here, Kev. Go ahead. He's an ecosystem. We had his skating coach on the first year that we were here. We all know the people that are around him and in his ear a lot. I think it's going to be great for him. Good contract, good team.
Yeah.
Take your wife, take your baby, start a life where hopefully it's a little quieter and he can, have that joy. I think Mitch is going to have big years in the next few years. I'm not just saying that. I really do.
But and in this market, ultimately won't care because they'll be focused on the Leafs as they should be. So that's great for Mitch. It's great for Vegas that he goes on and lives happily ever after.
Everyone I just mentioned.
But where does that leave the Leafs now?
Well, they need to figure out how to spend this money, and that's it's
what
going to
money?
be hard to get better.
What money? I'm not sure there's how much money is out there. And where is it going?
Well, you haven't had Matias Michelli making 3.4 and Nick Waugh making 3, like guys that are behind the core four who make any money. That hasn't been a thing that they've been able to do. So,
but just to use what happened today as an example, boys, think about, Brock Besser goes back to the Canucks after publicly his general manager who signed the contract being like, yeah, we couldn't get anything for him at the deadline. And it's like, yeah, we basically drove him out of town, and they end up re-signing him. It's like, Leafs management never said anything close to that bad about Mitch Marner. And it's like this slighted feeling. It's like, if Brock Besser can re-sign in Vancouver after what they said about it, Mitch could re-sign here.
Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to. But yes,
no.
he could.
Listen, it's not even, it's not apples to apples.
Well, it's a comparable situation.
No, it's not, because Brock didn't feel like it was unsafe to leave his house. Mitch did, guys. Okay? Garbage thrown over his house, golf balls thrown, needing police some nights after the playoffs, death threats. Come on. It's like, no good. No good. He had to leave. He just had to leave. And it's not just about, I guess, I don't know.
Then I wish he had said that a year earlier.
Right?
Yeah.
If he had to.
So,
yeah. The fans weren't mean to him the summer before?
Good chance.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable for him, and he just had enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just had enough. He just needs a fresh change.
And it's best for everyone. Like I said, I think it's good.
Yeah. Okay, so Leafs now.
Yes. How do they get
where there is no There's no free agent to sign right now for $7 or $8 million to replace him now.
Yeah.
So where are the Leafs? Like, Michelli, okay. I hear good things about his playmaking.
Some people are calling him Dollarama Marner.
He's, the thought is he's competitive. I don't know where it stood with Utah. I'm like,
What happened there?
What happened there? They say they had a lot of other guys that were similar, and he was just one of the many small guys that they had that found himself on the outside looking in. But he wasn't scratched for 3 games or 13 games. He was scratched for like 30 games.
Yeah, Jordan Schmaltz, a former teammate of his, had a whole tweet about him and basically said it was like fell in favor of the coaching staff, lost his confidence, suffered a mild injury that was kind of nagging. One of those years where everything just goes to hell in a handbasket. I hope he's the guy he's been in the past. The one thing I do worry about is will he get that opportunity? Because the year he had 60 points in the league, or in another year he had 50, presumably he's playing first-line power play
on a terrible team.
Right. So is he going to get those looks here? Maybe he will.
Good stats, bad team guy.
Could be, but also there's opportunity here where they haven't had left wingers. Like Bobby McMahon didn't grab a top 6 spot for me in the last half of the year.
I would be telling you that if you're heading into September or early October and your plan is Matthias Michelli top 6, I'm terrified of what the outcome of the Toronto Maple Leafs season is.
For sure.
I'm looking at Mason Marchment was out there.
Mm-hmm.
They make roughly the same amount of money. Why wouldn't
1.2 different?
Why wouldn't you go get Marchment?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would have been way better.
Why?
Were they trying to?
Please tell me they were.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Please tell me that when you thought of his availability, you pictured him playing against the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I think you have to, at some point, you have to have talent on your team. I said on the show, I've been worried about they're getting a lot of bottom 6 guys and not a whole lot of talent in with Mitch out the door. At least he's someone who can make a play or two. But I get your point that it's like, I still want...
I want playmaking.
They need a hurdle.
Right?
They need someone like that.
Yeah, and I'd gladly give him a chance to prove his playmaking ability because he's got shooters in Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews. And Mitch is the one that fed them, all of them, at some point, either the power play or on a 5-on-5 or a 6-on-5 when they needed a goal. Okay? That guy's gone now. So who's picking up those pieces, and what is that power play going to look like without Mitch Marner?
Get ready for Morgan Riley talk.
I do think that's maybe the most interesting question here is, are they going to address are they going to say, hey, we need another guy at the top of the power play? The Marner or the Riley experiment, you just can't do it again anymore. You can't do it anymore. We've seen
maybe Oliver Ekman-Larsson again. To try that again.
Doesn't sound he's going anywhere soon.
Riley.
No.
Yeah. But I just don't think you can run your top team.
I would bet that they've had conversations with him and his representation on possibly moving, but the sense that I get is like...
No shot?
I wouldn't say no shot. I'd say not right now.
Yeah. They also just had a kid. They also recently married. It's a tough time to be like, yeah, wherever you want. Fire me around.
Yeah.
So
you almost got to put him back on right now. On the power play is the top guy. It was Marner. He's gone. Who's left?
No. It is him.
Or Oliver Ekman.
Yeah.
That's your option if you want to do that. But I'm not sure that you want to do that. We should take a break.
Yeah.
Reset.
All right.
We're back. 2 hours today. Still plenty of meat on the bone on our Leaf Hour edition of the Real Kipper and Bourne Show. Don't go away. To the Real Kipper and Bourne Show, Leaf Hour.